One Man Mutiny is the title of Tommy Stinson's new solo CD. The Guns N' Roses and former Replacements bassist is releasing it on his own label due to a real uprising now rocking the music industry.
Part of the reason why the industry is kind of falling apart is that they haven't figured out how to make the jump to the new way of doing things. I mean, there's been this sort of thing happening throughout musical history. I mean, they went from 78s to LPs to CDs, and then MP3s. There's a transition that has to happen. If you're on the front of that curve, you're probably gonna be all right. If you're waiting in the wings back there for someone to tell you how to do it and figure it out, you're gonna just lose it. You're gonna be gone.
In order to stick around, Stinson, who started in the music business at age 12, is releasing his latest effort on his own label, Done to Death Music.
Now, you've been on small labels and big labels. Tell me what's it like to have your own label?
Well, there's a lot of trial and error. I mean, we're trying to figure out what makes sense. Where should I, because I got to put my own money into it. And I knew that going in. I knew I was going to have to figure out, like, what makes sense. Should I get a publicist? Should I get someone to help with a marketing idea? Maybe I can get both. And, we're trying to figure out where's a good place for me to invest in my own music to where it's going to mean something and be meaningful. A lot of times with record labels, big or small, they'll just have across the board way of doing things, and they'll give you a publicist that's not very good, and you'll do this, and then they'll give you a marketing team that'll try and do this, and none of it really has anything to do with you or your music necessarily. It's just that's what we do.
Well, what do you think about other revenue streams like video games or movie soundtracks? You've done a soundtrack.
I scored a movie for Sony called Catch and Release, which was a huge boost for me. One, it was a blast to do. It was something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And I did it with BT, and we just had a really good time doing it. And I did very well on that. And for me, and as you go along now, it's like a lot of bands are doing that now, and they're doing them for free because they want to just be in the movie, and their music, it's just another tool in a way.
Well, speaking of tools, it seems like a lot of bands would rather have a hit on YouTube and go viral than go into the top 10. What is social networking and Facebook mean to people's careers right now? Has it supplanted MTV?
God, I hope so. I think that it probably is going to do roughly what that did for music in the 80s, and that I think it's going to do that for music now. Obviously, it's showing its way. I mean, it's turning stars out of kids in their bedroom with a funny dance move. I mean, it's just making.
Is that good or bad?
I think it's good. I think it's free, and I think that people want to be entertained, and I think, if you can entertain them in that little square on your computer, then they might go, well, you know what, he's playing a show down the street. Maybe we should go check them out. He might have something, more interesting to do,
As for Stinson's upcoming show schedule, he's playing dates in support of One Man Mutiny before rejoining Axl Rose and the Gunners for a fall South American tour. And as for the one show that children by the million are waiting for?
If you remember, Lorne Michaels went on Saturday Night Live and he held up a check for $3,000 to get the Beatles back together. He says, if you come down, you can take this check. What would it take for a Replacements reunion? What kind of a check would someone have to hold up?
They've been holding up pretty good ones already, and we couldn't probably do it for the money. We'd have to do it to have fun first and foremost, and I think that's just a daunting thing. I think that I think Chris has gone his direction with art, and he's done very well with it, and he's having a great run. And I think, for Paul and I to just go and do it alone, we'd have to really sit down and just kind of go, well, let's go play some songs for these people that really wants to play. It'll make them happy. Let's go try and have fun and see what it does. Just be real light about it. But what ends up happening every time we talk about it, I think that it just becomes a little too precious an issue, and I don't think we really want to, tarnish it.